This place here was $60 an acre less than what the previous owners paid for it. And most of that was because the prickly acacia had become a lot thicker. Nobody really wanted to buy it.
I'd keep control of the prickle trees if you had prickle trees on your place. You can leave some around for shade, but when they seed, the cattle and sheep eat them, they'll spread your seed out, and in about 10 years you'll be like this. All the tree here is only 8 to 10 year old.
Yeah.
So before that, this was open downs country, not one tree on it.
Yeah.
It just takes you over.
The cost of trying to knock this prickly acacia back was taking away any chance we had to renew a cattle yard or sheep yard or renew a fence or do any outside improvements. We had to do that. We had to try and knock the prickly acacia back first.
Over the last 12 months, Desert Channels has held a number of workshops throughout our area, and we've done these workshops with the help of Dave and Jane from DAF and Wayne from Biosecurity, and I actually think we're starting to see some results in the way landholders are approaching their weed control problems. Some of the ideas or thoughts that we spoke about at these workshops are certainly being implemented on the places.
There was prickly acacia there. I probably took it too cheaply, not knowing the country. And I thought I'd clean what was there. I'd clean up in a matter of a week, 10 days to a fortnight. Anyway, as luck had it, after we took over, we had a run of seasons, and then I wasn't realising what seed was in the ground. It just jumped out of the ground.
Productivity, you don't realise how much has gone down until you pellet the area or clean an area and then get a good rain on it and see how much grass it grows. And that's, you don't sort of realise that till then. You think you're getting a lot out of it by knocking it down and letting the cattle eat it, but it's very little. It's only in a really bad drought and you can knock it down then. It'll keep the cattle alive, it won't do much more than that because you just can't knock enough down. There was one area back over on the main road there that got pelleted, and I just seen the grass that come, they pelleted it before Christmas and it rained in March, and the amount of grass that it grew, well, it didn't grow any before, but it grew grass in the first 6 months, which was very quickly. So the seed's there on the ground. Yeah, it just needs to get rid of the prickle trees. The grass can't compete with the prickle trees.
Some people say it's good drought fodder, a good backup when it gets dry, but when it gets dry and you really need it, it's shutting down as well, so it's not much good to you. And one thing I did notice about prickly acacia is you're going to start spraying it next week, or you're going to get into it straight after shearing, and you think, oh, I must get into it before it goes to seed, and quite often before you get there it's starting to seed, and it'll beat you nearly every year unless you get ahead of it.
Yep. When we're using the dozer, if there's big trees with seed on them or would be old enough to seed, I usually go around in the Toyota and just chuck a few pellets around them first. Otherwise, if I do knock them down, I come back later on and just chuck a few pellets around them just to kill the little ones coming up.
What we worked out of grasslands is it'll kill the tree the first, like your large permanent tree, it'll kill him straight up. Then it'll also, for the next 3 years, kill any seedlings or anything else that comes up beyond it. So if you get a dry season like we are now, the first lot of rain will kill the big tree. Then the next couple of rains in the next couple of years, as this pellet breaks down slowly, it'll kill all the next seedlings, which is a bonus for us. That way we don't have to go back in within the next 2 to 3 years.
We're dealing with landowners like Bill and Will, who've come and attended to the workshop, and these people have done a lot of work on their own before they came along, and then we've had a discussion about how to go forward and how to do a staged plan, and they're keen and they want to get on top of the problem, and people like that we're happy to co-invest in, either through mapping or help on ground.
We've done all that side of the bloody
I've been to a few field days, I've been to 3 field days I think, and we've learnt quite a lot from that too. One thing we learnt was you've got to have people that know what they're doing about it. The previous owners, or it may have been the owner before that, got some government money and they stick rake some areas and nobody come back and sprayed it. That stuff now, you can't get through it whatsoever. You can't get a motorbike through it, you can't walk through it. It's just come up like you've never seen anything in your life.
One of the things I've noticed at these workshops is the great discussion of landholders over the subjects that talked about during the day, and it's not just discussion at smoko or lunch, it goes on during at tea time when you're having the beer, and people open up about their ideas, and you know, it helps to think outside the square.
I talk to everybody I can about it. Yeah, well, that's the only way you learn.
There's always been a terrific backup support, technical support with the staff. They'll, like, for example, I thought there was times I wasn't putting enough chemical out or wasn't doing it right. Well, and Pete, for example, would say, no, well, the prickly acacia tree will have 2 or 3 attempts to live before it actually shuts down and dies. So that made me relax a bit, because I thought if the tree wasn't dead the first time, I hadn't done the job right and had to go back over it.
Desert channels have been my best teachers, actually. Peter's been very, very good to us. Yeah, I just listen to him and he tells me different things that different people have done, and I learn a lot from that.
I've been to a lot of field days and that, and people there that we talk to, they recommend to throw it up into the tree and let the branches scatter down the roots, because the root system is quite extensive underground. You sort of want to get to all the roots. Yep. If you just chuck at the base of the tree, we found out a long time ago, we chuck at the base of the tree, it just won't work. It'll go down and it won't do too much for you.
A lot of people have got a vision what they want to do, but we're just seeing that following the workshop, and they go home and think about it, and with our help and sitting down with the landowners, we're actually getting a plan that covers the whole of the property, and looking not for next year or the year after, but we're looking for 10 or 15 years down the track, and we're aiming to have a weed-free and very productive property.
They had a lot of people here one day, and they had a helicopter taking them around. Everybody that went round all talked about how much prickly acacia was here. They didn't talk about how much grass was here. They talked about how much prickly acacia was here and what it was going to cost them. A lot of people come when they're looking at properties now. The agents will tell you, has it got any prickly acacia on it? And if it has got prickly acacia on it, a lot of fellows won't even go and look at it.
I can't really praise Desert Channels enough as far as what they're doing to Western Queensland, for Western Queensland. And I think that we need to know that for everyone to realise that, not just the people who are killing the trees. You know, there's people beside you that they don't really worry about their trees. You think only those poor buggers that realise what's ahead of them.
One of the things I personally got out of the workshops is landowners going home with 1 or 2 ideas and being a bit revved up to change the business or to put these ideas into practice, and to help them just to make the bottom line a bit better on their business during the tough times of drought.
My plan for Bowen Downs is to put it back the way it was when it was first settled. And mostly that's easily done, except for the prickly acacia, and it has to go.
DCQ and our partners will continue to roll out these workshops and field days, and if you want to be involved, contact DCQ.